Hey guys, I'm Rich. Welcome to Rich with Cars. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the 2019 Mercedes-Benz AMG C63 Sedan. Of course, there's been plenty of reviews on this car before, but I just wanted to touch base upon this car because some of you know and some of you might not know, the new C63 is actually coming out with a 4-cylinder hybrid powertrain. So the soul has left the C63. And I want to basically touch upon a few of the things from the previous generation C63 that might want you to actually go for a certified pre-owned or a used one and get some of that grumble from that V8 twin turbo. So guys, strap in, we'll take a look and let's see. So in 2019, Mercedes-Benz made some notable changes to both the front and rear fascias of the C63, which included the front Pan America grille, the headlights, and some of the front fascia at the lower portion of the front bumper. Now, of course, you can get different trim levels on the C63. This particular version is a C63, not the S version, so it's got a slightly detuned engine to be bringing you about 479 horsepower and about 470, give or take, pounds per foot of torque. This one has the sort of brushed aluminum trim in the front and the rear, so you guys can see that there's some brushed aluminum trim that runs right along the front of the fascia. Something else that we can see are the double humps on the front hood. It's a little bit hard to see on a black car, but you can see it off the reflection over here. You can see also the front headlights have changed to a sort of like a multi-LED setup, both in the top and bottom versions. But you still sort of retain that daytime running light on the headlight. One really cool thing that I love about this particular C63 are the wheels. They're not the biggest, but I love the design of it. You have sort of like a, kind of like an aero disc that goes around alongside with a multi-spoke design. These are 19-inch wheels, so of course you can get a larger size, but nevertheless I do love the style. And then on top of that you do have the red brake calipers. And then of course you have the badging for the V8 bi-turbo engine on the front fender. Not many other notable changes from the side of the vehicle. The most notable change I would say would be the rear bottom fascia. So you still have the quad tailpipes with the AMG badging on the top, and then the biggest change would be the rear diffuser that has now these fins in the middle for better aerodynamics. Aside from that, you might have a bit of a change on the taillights. All in all, I still love the design of the C63, and I think it's a better look, more aggressive than the new upcoming C63 4-cylinder hybrid model, which I'll be showing you guys as well. Now for the interior, I'm not a big fan of this trim level because you do have some wood inserts. It kind of gives a kind of like an old geezer look, but you do have the Burmeister upgraded system with this. I would have preferred some carbon fiber. It does give it a sportier look, but nevertheless, it's still pretty nice. It gives you more of a luxurious look mixed with the sportiness of the C63. Now in terms of controls, of course, you have all your window controls, your door lock, side view mirror controls, and I do like how the buttons are in sort of like a brushed aluminum. Very luxurious look that goes alongside with the speaker grills from the Burmeister audio. And one very notable thing from a lot of Mercedes-Benz are the seat controls, which are right here on the door. Makes it much more usable. You also do have quite a bit of space on the door cards for quite a few large items, including bottles. And then of course, one really cool thing that I love about the C63 are the pedals, which basically are aluminum pedals with some like rubber dots for grip purposes as well. Moving on to the seats, I do like these seats. These are not the AMG Performance seats, which I actually prefer these as opposed to the AMG Performance. Not in terms of looks, but in terms of overall comfort. You do have some Alcantara inserts with the AMG badging here in the middle. And you do have quite a bit of controls also on the seats. I believe these are 14-way power, but very, very comfortable. And I do like the design overall. Not as nice as the AMG Performance, but I would prefer these because they are much more comfortable as well. So here in the interior, we do have the updated steering wheel that they actually changed, I believe, in 2019. You have a flat bottom over here, nice AMG badging. You have sort of like these touch pads that allow you to change different functions, alongside with some other functions over here, which include your phone controls, volume, voice recognition. Over here on this side, you do have your cruise control functions, alongside with some other functions as well. That also has a touchpad control over here for a multitude of functions. In regards to the gauge cluster, this one does retain some of the older analog. I kind of like the analog cluster, and you have a digital screen for all your different functions. Of course, you have your paddle shifters. One thing that I've been never crazy about the Mercedes-Benzes are the gear levers, which are off of the steering wheel. I'm not a big fan of that, but the reason why they do that is so that it frees up some space here in the middle. The new Mercedes C63 doesn't have. They actually took away the IWC clock. I think that's a really, really nice touch that I'm sure a lot of owners or fans of the AMG probably miss. I personally would have preferred to actually keep that somehow. It gives it sort of like a classy look. And aside from the classy look, you also have a very clean setup over here with all your different HVAC controls over here. And I like the air vents that you have. And then of course, iPad style tacked on infotainment screen. This is probably about 2 or 3 generations old. But I mean, it does get a lot of the functions right. The way that you control it is through this rotating bezel, alongside with a touch pad over here, alongside with a bunch of different redundant buttons, because you do have a home button here, you have another home button there. So it allows you to basically control the infotainment system in whichever way you please, or makes you feel more comfortable as well. Some additional storage here with some cup holders. You have some storage there in the middle. You have your middle compartment storage over here, which gives you some additional plugs, which include only USB-A plugs, alongside with an SD card right there as well. Nevertheless, I do like the fact that it is a nice middle compartment, which is accessible by both sides. You do have the same Alcantara, and one cool thing that Mercedes didn't cheap out on is you do have the same 14-way power seats for the passenger as you do for the driver as well. You do have a very, very large opening, as you guys can see. It allows you to fit in different items in different ways because of the large opening. I'll show you guys on the screen what the volume is here for the trunk in the rear. It seems like you do have fold down seat feature, so it allows you to get full accessibility to the rear area to have larger items pass through as well. The one thing that I did notice though is that this portion right here actually raises up, so you don't have a fully flat surface. Nevertheless, I do like the trunk space area of the C63. So driving the 2019 C63. This is the main reason as to why you want to go for the older generation as opposed to the newer one with the 4-cylinder and the hybrid powertrain. Just listen to this. Yep, that's exactly why. A lot of people who are big fans of AMG, of course, haven't had the opportunity, including myself, to check out the new 4-cylinder. You cannot compare a twin-turbo V8 with that sort of rumble to the new 4-cylinder. I don't care what Mercedes-Benz does in terms of, you know, any sort of audio tuning to the speakers. You just can't replace the soul of that V8. Now, aside from that, of course, this car does feel a little bit stiff because it is a sport-tuned suspension to go with the rest of the performance of this vehicle. Steering wheel is also a little bit firm, but it does communicate what is actually going on the road. And aside from that, the transmission itself, I'd say that I've experienced better transmissions in terms of more responsive. But on the automatic mode, when you put on the Sport Plus, it is actually pretty good. When you're braking, it does downshift on its own. And when you're actually trying to accelerate hard, it will actually take it further up into the rev range to give you more of that, top range power. So ultimately, from a driving perspective, I can't really comment on the new 4-cylinder. I don't know how good they actually did it or made it feel, but this is the main reason as to why you guys want to go for 2019, 2020, 2021 C63 or C63S. It's because of the drive, because of the soul, because of the sound. Ultimately, like I said, I really did enjoy driving this car. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick review on the 2019 C63 Sedan. Like I said before, I hope I can give you a good idea of maybe considering this car as opposed to waiting for the new one. Of course, the new one's gonna have a lot more tech. It's going to be much faster. It's rated at about 680 horsepower, but like I said before, you cannot replace the soul that this particular generation of the C63 has. It's going to be the last of its kind. I would not be surprised if these actually go up in value. I really enjoy driving this car. This is the latest iteration in terms of its design with the Pan America grille before the complete redesign with the 4-cylinder. I wanted to give a huge thank you to Chi. I want you guys to take a look at his Instagram. I'm going to be posting up his Instagram and phone number both in the description and here up on the screen as well. You can actually rent this car, believe it or not. Whoever is going to be in the Central Florida region and you want to actually test drive this car or you want to rent it, make sure to check him out. Like I said, check out the phone number, check out the Instagram. Once again, big thanks to Chi for allowing me to actually review this vehicle. And don't forget to check out RiceMotors to rent this vehicle or any other vehicles as well. Guys, stick around for the next week's video. Hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.